connecting the mind to mastery. If we think about our childhood, not just about our memories of it, but how it actually felt, we realize how differently we experienced the world back then. Our minds were completely open and we entertained all kinds of surprising, original ideas, things that we now take for granted. Things as simple as the night sky or our reflection in a mirror often caused us to wonder. Our heads teemed with questions about the world around us. Not yet having commanded language, we thought in ways that were preverbal, in images and sensations. When we attended the circus, a sporting event, or a movie, our eyes and ears took in a spectacle with utmost intensity. Those colors seemed more vibrant and alive. We had a powerful desire to turn everything around us into a game to play with circumstances. Let us call this quality the original mind. This mind looked at the world more directly, not through words and received ideas. It was flexible and receptive to new information. Retaining a memory of this original mind, we cannot help but feel nostalgia for the intensity with which we used to experience the world. As the years pass, this intensity inevitably diminishes. We come to see the world through a screen of words and opinions. Our prior experiences layered over the present color what we see. We no longer look at things as they are, noticing their details or wonder why they exist. Our minds gradually tighten up. We become defensive about the world we now take for granted. And we become upset if our beliefs or assumptions are attacked. We can call this way of thinking the conventional mind. Under pressure to make a living, to conform to society, we force our minds into tighter and tighter grooves. We may seek to retain the spirit of childhood here and there, playing games or participating in forms of entertainment that releases us from the conventional mind. Sometimes, when we visit a different country or where we cannot rely upon everything we being familiar, we become childlike again, struck by the oddness and newness of what we are seeing. But because our minds are not completely engaged in these activities, because they last only a short while, they are not rewarding in a deep sense, they are not creative. People, those who manage to retain a sizable portion of their childhood spirit despite the pressure and demands of adulthood, they are masters. This spirit manifests itself in the work and in their ways of thinking. Children are naturally creative. They actively transform everything around them. They play with ideas and circumstances and surprise us with the novel things they say or do. But the natural creativity of children is limited. It never leads to discoveries, inventions, or substantial work of arts. Masters not only retain the spirit of the original mind, but they add to it their years of experience and an ability to focus deeply on problems or ideas. This leads to high level creativity. Although they have a profound knowledge of a subject, their minds remain open to alternative ways of seeking and approaching problems. They are able to ask the kinds of simple questions that most people pass over, but they have the rigor and discipline to follow their investigations all the way to the end. They retain a childlike excitement about their field and a playful approach, all of which makes the house of hard work alive and pleasurable. Masters manage to blend the two, discipline and childlike spirit, together into what we shall call the dimensional mind. Such a mind is not constricted by limited experience or habits. It can branch out into all directions and make deep contact with reality. It can explore more dimensions of the world. The conventional mind is passive. It consumes information and regulates in its familiar forms. The dimensional mind is active, transforming everything it digests into something new and original, creating instead of consuming. How are the masters able to combine the childlike spirit with their conventional mind? It is hard to say exactly. Perhaps they found it harder to let go of their childhood, or perhaps at some point they intuited the powers they could have by keeping their childhood spirit alive and bringing it to bear in their work. Achieving the dimensional mind is never easy. Understand, we all possess an inborn creative force that wants to become active. This is the gift of our original mind, which reveals such potential. The human mind is naturally creative, constantly looking to make associations and connections between things and ideas. It wants to explore, to discover new aspects of the world, and to invent. Okay, so what kills the creative force? It is not age or a lack of talent, but our own spirit. our own attitude. We become too comfortable with the knowledge we have gained in our experience. We grow afraid of entering into new ideas and the effort that it requires. To think more flexibly entails a risk. We could fail and be ridiculed. We prefer to live with familiar ideas and habits of thinking. But we pay a steep price for this. Our minds go dead from the lack of challenging and novelty. We reach a limit in our field and lose control over our fate because we become replaceable. What does this mean? We can equally possess the potential to spark this innate creative force back to life, no matter how old we are. Experiencing a return of this creative force has an immensely therapeutic effect on our spirits and on our career. By understanding how the dimensional mind operates and what helps it flourish, we can consciously revive our mental elasticity and reverse the deadening process. The powers the dimensional mind can bring are nearly limitless and within the reach of almost all of us. So, how can we bring back our dimensional mind? But first, we have to look into the problem. We follow a set of instructions given by experienced people, like teachers, parents, and our elders. The problem for us all is that the knowledge we gain in that instruction phase, including numerous rules and procedures, can slowly become a prison. It locks us into certain methods and forms of thinking that are one dimensional. Instead, the mind must be forced from its conservative positions and made active and exploratory. The dimensional mind has two essential requirements. One, a high level of knowledge about a field or subject, and two, the openness and flexibility to use this knowledge in new and original ways. The knowledge that prepares the ground for creative activity largely comes from a rigorous set of instructions in which we have mastered all of the basics. Once the mind is freed from having to learn these basics, it can focus on higher, more creative matters.